good, guys? Welcome back to another video. So as you can tell by the title of the video, I ended up making $40,000 today trading US 30 and also trading the S&P 500, well technically SPX, on longs today. So today you're gonna see the entire breakdown. And like I said before, instead of like the older kind of intros that I was doing, you guys really liked the vlog lifestyle type of videos. So I'm still trying to find a way as to whether I want to incorporate that with like the breakdown videos, or just do them completely separate, or do both, because I know sometimes it can get a little bit boring, a little bit repetitive, and I know you guys want to see obviously more about my life. So we decided to start the intro off a little bit different today. We're at the gym, just finished my workout, and something I've incorporated into my routine and my schedule after trading is right when I'm done trading, I go straight to the gym. Because just like how some people are just sick of their financial situation and want to make a change, I was sick of the person that I saw in the mirror every single day being so skinny, and I decided to make a change. I've been working out consistently for I think like the last 5 or maybe 6 months or so, maybe a little bit less, like 4 or 5 months around there. I've been seeing the progress, and honestly it's amazing, and I feel like shit when I don't go to the gym now. So it's been a great change so far in my life. And again, if you guys are sick of your current situation, you guys can do something about it. Don't say you're gonna start on Monday, just start that same exact day. Everyone has the same 24 hours in a day. Other than that, I'm gonna give you guys a full in-depth breakdown today on my positions that I took on the S&P 500 and on US 30. Again, guys, for those of you guys that are interested in more trading content, make sure you guys join the free Telegram, and I'll see you guys on the breakdown. All right, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to another breakdown. You guys should already know how this goes if you guys have been a subscriber of mine for a while. I'm going to be breaking down the trade that I took today on US 30, which made me a net profit of around $30,000 today. And I'm just going to try and provide as much value as I can today for you guys in today's video. So I ended up taking this US 30 position, ended up taking US 30 buys. For those of you guys that are in the day trading institution, I took these buys based off of the break of the high setup that I have inside of my playbook, which if you guys are in DTI, you should already know the break of the high setup. And even if you guys are in the free Telegram, I literally broke down how you could have potentially taken this setup last night before it even happened. And I'll kind of get into the whole breakdown later on in a bit. But ultimately, you guys need to have a playbook. So just like a football coach has his playbook and tells his players, hey, you know what, we're gonna follow this play, or we're gonna do this play on that specific day, it's almost the same thing in trading. You need to have a playbook where essentially, depending on the market conditions, you're gonna be looking for different setups inside of your playbook. Not just only having a playbook so you know what you're gonna be trading on that specific day, but so it's easier for you to track your statistics. Say you have a setup where you're trading Fibonacci. Say you have a setup where you're trading moving averages. You could see the different statistics based off of those setups that are inside of your playbook, and you choose which setups are ultimately the most profitable, and you stick to only trading those high profitability setups or high probability setups. So now, when it came to me taking this position here on US 30, ultimately I took a break of the high setup, which is one of my favorite setups to take, especially one of my favorite breakout setups to actually take here on indices. Doesn't matter if it's SPX, NASDAQ, or US 30. It's just, again, one of my breakout setups inside of my playbook. So I ended up taking buys off of US 30, and I'm going to kind of break that down to you now. So essentially, when it came down to my thought process this morning, so ultimately last week we had CPI, and CPI came out better than expected or lower than expected, which ultimately is a bullish catalyst, especially for indices, because it shows us that inflation is slowing down faster than actually expected. Now, with that news, we've seen the stock market essentially pump up and start to rally, and I anticipated that wait to continue to actually hold onto this week coming forward. Now, ultimately, we've had a nice strong impulse to the upside and a pullback, a move to the upside, and we've seen price action bounce off of this area of support twice. So I've already determined that we are in a bullish condition, fundamentals and from a technical standpoint. So now, when it came to me looking at the market last night and this morning, ultimately what I saw is that we have support here at 34,443, and we have resistance here at 34,518. This is going to be resistance. This is going to be support. Now, this is the range that price action is trading in. So I knew if I was going to take buys, ultimately, depending if I were to take a bounce play or break at the high setup, this would be my target. This would also be my target. If I would have taken sells, then obviously this would have been my target all the way down here. Again, you have to think in probabilities. So when it came to me looking at price action this morning, say, okay, well, you know what? If price action can continue to bounce off of support, which ultimately it did last night because this is the market open candlestick, then we could see that price action has a higher probability of coming back up into resistance. And if price action breaks above this resistance that actually held here on the hour time frame, then price has a great probability to continue to come up into this next resistance level. Again, notice I'm not targeting, I'm not shooting for the moon, I'm not looking for price to shoot up 600-700 points. I'm literally looking for price to reach the area that has the highest probability of getting hit, and that's where my take profit is going to be. Now, if my planned risk to reward ratio is positive, and from where my entry point is to where my target is, if the planned risk to reward ratio is positive, then of course that's what's going to give me the green light to take the position. Now, when it came down to such a smaller time frame, like a 5-minute time frame, ultimately what I was looking for was for price action to start trading above 34,518. That would have been my trigger for entry. Now, I never trade the first 5 minutes of the open. This was the actual open candlestick, which is why I didn't take a position here during the open, because we just see typically a lot of volatility come into the markets, and price just typically does some form of a liquidity grab or some form of a stop hunt. So this is why I didn't take the position on a break of the high setup here with the market open candlestick. And again, this is why you have rules set in place. I know for me, a lot of the times if I take a position during the market open, I'm just going to get stopped out. So I wait always 5 minutes after the market actually opens. So at 9:35 is when I could start actively looking for positions. And by the time that candlestick opened up, price ended up coming all the way back down. And for me being a standpoint of, okay, well, you know, I'm going to mainly be looking to buy because price action is in a bullish condition, again, from a fundamental and technical standpoint. So I'm going to be waiting for price action to come down into this support range, 34,443. Now, if price action does reject and price action does bounce off of this area, I'll look for buys and I'll set my TP at 34,518, because I don't know if price action is going to break this area, but this is a good area to definitely take money off of the table. And hey, if price action does break that, great. We can easily see price come back up into 34,621, which would be the next target. Why would that be my next target? Because that is going to be another major area of resistance where we saw price action bounce and bounce again. And again, you have to think about protecting your capital and trying to realize some of your gains. I don't know if price action is going to break this area, but it's definitely a good area to take money off of the table. Now, as price action was coming lower, I also thought to myself, you know what? Where would definitely I would step in as a seller? And to me, that was, okay, well, you know what? If price action could break below 34,443, I'm going to wait for a break and retest setup, because in a situation where we're in a bullish condition, I really want to confirm that price broke support. That same support is now holding as resistance before actually taking a short, which is why I wouldn't have taken a break of the low setup there. And as price action was coming down, I did not take any positions because price was yet to fail to reject that, or price was yet to reject that area of previous support. Now, I would have broken all of my rules, although I would have made money if I would have taken potential buys here, because what could have happened is I could have started taking buys near support, but at that point in time, I'm predicting what price action is going to do. I'm predicting price action is going to hold that area of support. That's not reacting to price. Our job as a trader is to react to price action. Now, price action ended up coming all the way back up into resistance, which, yes, I would have been in green, but again, that would have been me breaking my rules, and it would have been a bad trade, because although it would have been a profitable trade, it would have been a bad trade because I've been breaking my rules. In the long term, you're only going to create bad habits doing that. Now, right once price action started to come back up and ended up closing above 34,518, which again, you have to think about it from an hour time frame perspective as well. You have to be flipping through your time frames. Price action starting to trade above this area and is starting to break the highs, which is my setup that I was looking out for here. We have highs here, we have support here, we have resistance here. Price action is now breaking through that, and I know if volume is present in the market, we can easily see price action continue to trade higher at that point in time. So when it came to me taking the position, I ended up taking the 2 positions when price action ended up closing above my resistance range for a break of the high setup, which again, for those of you guys that are in DTI, if you're somewhat confused, you can always send me a message in the Discord, or just literally go back and watch the break of the high setup video. Now, in terms of take profits and stop losses, my stop loss was set under the low of the candlestick that I took the entry from, which my stop loss was roughly down here. And then my take profit was all the way up here at the next resistance range. Again, my stop loss has to be in an area that will invalidate the trade. If price action comes and breaks the low of the previous 5-minute candlestick, hitting my stop losses, then I know that price, 1, rejected resistance, and 2, ended up breaking the low of the previous candlestick, which essentially we went from making a higher low to a higher low. Well, essentially a low here to a higher low, to now making lower lows, which again, now we have 2 signs that we shouldn't be in the trade. My trade is no longer valid, so that's where I would like to exit my position. And luckily, price ended up just going straight in my favor. There was no pullbacks of any sorts. There was no drawdown. Price ended up just taking off completely, which was fantastic for my position. I ended up taking entries around 34,000 or 34,519, which is literally all throughout this area up here, right when this candlestick actually closed. And then price ended up taking off. Now again, just because price action took off doesn't mean my job as a trader is done. I need to be actively able to manage my position and protect my capital as much as I possibly can, and try and realize some of my gains. Because again, just because I have a higher probability of price action coming all the way up to here doesn't mean that price action will come up all the way up to here. Price action can come halfway, or can come maybe a quarter of the way and then completely dump. So I have to protect my positions as much as I can. This is where active trading management comes into play. So when price action ended up pushing up and making new highs on the day, then pulled back and continued to start to make new highs on the day, that's when I moved my stop loss to under this candlestick low right here. And I was securing roughly around a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio, which was okay. At that point in time, my trade was literally completely stress-free. And it was fantastic because worst case scenario, I make a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. Best case scenario, price action hits my take profit. I make money on the day regardless. Price action ended up coming all the way up and then just completely came back down. And this is why I trade on Hero, because the spreads are literally so tight, especially on indices. I know for a fact on any other broker, I would have been taken out of my position, because spreads always tend to increase on a lot of different brokerages, especially when it comes to getting close to your stop losses. So for those of you guys that are interested in trading in the same broker that I actually trade on, of course, I'll have a link down in the description for you guys. I've been trading with Hero for the entire year, and I do have the raw spreads account for MetaTrader 5. So highly recommend trading with Hero, and I've had 0 hiccups when it comes to withdrawals and deposits. Price action ended up consolidating for quite some time, and then last but not least ended up coming all the way up to my take profit area. Now I didn't end up closing at my take profit. I closed a little bit before that, but you know what? I ended up securing over 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio, leaving for a great trade on the day. One thing I possibly could have done maybe a little bit better is just try and hold my position for a little bit longer. But after seeing all of this consolidation and me literally wanting to go to the gym and having a previous position that I had earlier today on SPX get stopped out at a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio, again, you have to put all these different things, and you have to take all these different things into consideration. You know, it's set up for it's set up for me to close my position a little bit early, but that's just me being honest and transparent with you guys as much as possible. Other than that, everybody, I hope you guys enjoyed this breakdown. Quick updates: waitlist for the day trading institution are now open. So if you guys want to learn how to completely trade from me, it doesn't matter what skill level you are, doesn't matter if you're a complete beginner, doesn't matter if you've already been trading for a few years. As you guys saw in my last interview, my most recent successful student literally made $70,000 last month. And I have a ton of different successful students on the day trading institution that make a return on their investment from what they invest into DTI. Other than that, the waitlist is open, where you'll have access to the full online course. You'll have access to the Discord community and the live trading room for a one-time payment, lifetime subscription. And one thing that we're going to be doing differently with this DTI launch, because as you guys already know, we always accept only 100 students to join per enrollment, is we're going to be hosting a 3-day boot camp after we open enrollment and close enrollments after 100 new students join. If you guys are, doesn't matter if you guys are part of the new 100 students that join or part of DTI already, you'll have access to the DTI bootcamp, which will be recorded and uploaded to the course as well. Other than that, everybody, for those of you guys who want more free educational content that revolves solely around trading, make sure you guys join the free Telegram. I post breakdowns there literally all the time, and last time I ended up posting a breakdown on the free Telegram. I ended up discussing these US 30 buys literally last night. So for those of you guys that were on the free Telegram, you could have potentially caught this move with me as well. Other than that, everybody, I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.